We just won the national championship, went undefeated, #1 in the nation. Let's take a look and see how many All-Americans we had. No first team? There's no way. We had Larkin, Harrison, Brown, Thomas, so a bunch of defensive guys, but no offensive guys. McDoom and Patterson. And, of course, Manning there. He had a ton of interceptions this season. And then second team, only one receiver. And then, of course, Brian Wallace, who is a great corner so far this year. All right, Jimmy Watson made freshman, and Aaron Rodgers made freshman All-American, so that's good. It's good. We at least had 2 freshman All-Americans. I think we had a third. Yes, Hall. Travis Hall was a freshman All-American. Great job for him. But that is all we had for our All-Americans. I feel like we should have had more. Aaron Rodgers, 2,800 yards, 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Simmons with 803 yards and 7 touchdowns. Wright had 1,215 yards and 13 touchdowns. He also won the Heisman Trophy. Simmons, 775 and 14 touchdowns. Ewing, 589 with 8 touchdowns. And Aaron Rodgers, 385 yards rushing, which isn't bad. Coleman, 1,641 yards with 13 touchdowns. And then Jimmy Watson, 876 and 14 touchdowns. Both of them had over 60 catches in the year. And then, of course, Black had 591 yards, 6 touchdowns, but only 30 receptions on the year. He had a really rough year, really down year, even though he was a 95 overall. I mean, Coleman, Watson, and Black were a great trio of receivers, but we kind of got into the passing game late in the season. About 4 or 5 games in, we started throwing over about 200 to 300 yards a game, so it took him a while to get there. But, I mean, 14 touchdowns is insane. Brown with 14 pancakes, awesome. Jim Thomas, 90 solo tackles, 23 tackles for a loss. Brown with 11 sacks. Larkin with 7. He ended up breaking the school record in sacks for a career. But Jim Thomas's 90 tackles is just insane. Our tackles for a loss was Brown with 24, Thomas with 23, and Montgomery with 19. All pretty good stats from our guys. Now we'll get into the records. All right, it doesn't look like we hit any NCAA records, but Grayson McCall still holds his passing records. Did we get any receiving records? Yes, we did not. No new receiving records. I really thought Coleman was going to come up with one of those receiving records. Oh, he did right there, 1,641 yards in a season. And then defensively, Larkin, career sacks, 30. Game sacks, Cash was 4, and then season is still Larkin. And then no real stats there, but look at that. 14-0, 14-0, 13-0, 13-1, 14-0, and 13-0. Those are insane career statistics so far for my head coach. All right, Lawrence, can we get him back? I do not think so. I could probably promise him that he'll go first round in the NFL, and I still won't be able to pick this dude up. But let's just see what happens. So I'm going to offer him 9 games, and he's still not going to come to us. And then let's see about this guy. I don't know. We'll catch, probably could have said 800 catches, and he's still not going to come to us. So both the freshman and wide receiver and center are going to different places. They're not going to come back. So we tried. They're leaving, but at least they're the only 2. So we lost 2 freshmen. Not too bad. I don't think they were really going to help us out. All right, so I went hard on getting Paul Moore because I definitely need some linebackers here. I went decently hard on the receiver, but I don't really need him. And then Reggie Cox, I'm going to end up giving a ton to because we definitely need D tackles because Harrison's going to end up leaving next year. And then Dennis Gray, I'm going to try and get him. He's a 75 overall quarterback, so it couldn't hurt. And then I also tried to get Stephen Campbell, who is a D tackle who's 68 overall. I mean, we'll kind of see who we end up getting, but not the biggest deal in the world. Paul Moore, Reggie Cox, Dennis Gray, and Brown. All right, we got some pretty good dudes. We got most of the higher level guys rather than the lower level guys. Okay, so now we're going to have to move some of these athletes around. I'm moving him to corner. I am going to move him to free safety. And then I'm really not sure where to put Brian. Do I put him at safety? Do I put him at corner? Do I put him at linebacker? Where am I going to go with him? Or do I need to figure out an offensive spot for him? Definitely moving my punter to kicker so that I have a kicker. Very important to have a kicker in this game. All right, we might move him to wide receiver. All right, let's just move him to wide receiver, and we're good. Okay, let's see how our training results did. Simmons is now a 99 overall, 92 for speed. Rogers is an 83, and so is Lawson. He also is an 88 for speed. Lawson is. That's insane. All right, so our quarterbacks are set to go. We've got great quarterbacks this year. We even got that freshman Gray, who is a 75 overall. He could potentially end up helping us out, too, in the long run. Wright is now an 89 and a 99 for speed, and Ewing is an 88 with a 90 for speed. So we got some speedy backs. That's going to help us out, too. Can't wait to get the running game going with these guys. I mean, you just hand it off to Wright, and he runs it for a touchdown. All right, no fullbacks. Watson, 88. Hollis, 85. Hayden, 85. Spencer, 82. Campbell, 82. All of them are above 90 speed. Spencer's a 97 for speed, and Watson and Hollis are a 95 for speed. That is awesome. We are going to have some fast receivers. Let's just hope they hold on to the ball because Aaron Rodgers is slinging it left and right. All right, so let's move on to the tight end. We got a 90 overall. Dorsey, Smith, Pace, Nolan, all of them are above 78 or higher. That's awesome tight ends. Left tackle's good to go. Left guard's great. Center's perfect. Guards, this might be my best offensive line I have had in 5 seasons. This is an awesome offensive line. Defensive line's a little bit more rocky. 83, 90, Paul Jones. 83, McIntosh. I mean, we're still Carter's an 82. He's a freshman. He's going to end up being the starter. I'm starting Carter because he's faster. He's a 79 for speed. All right, and then, of course, we got Paul Jones right there, who's a 90 overall junior, so I've got him for a whole nother year. And then Marshall, I moved Marshall over to D-tackle so he would get a chance to start this year. He is now our fastest defensive tackle. He's a 71 for speed and 86 overall D-tackle, so that's really going to help us out, get pressure on the quarterback. Outside linebackers are only a 70, so we're going to definitely have to move some of these linebackers around. But we got a 70 overall and a 70 overall. Our middle linebackers, Thomas, Hall, Neal, Lambert, all of them pretty darn good. 94, 80, 73, and 68. Montgomery is a 78, but we got a freshman who's going to come in and start over him. Carter, a 74. These are really, really good stats. Our defense is going to be key to us winning games. Our offense, all we got to do is throw the ball up, and these receivers are going to catch it. They're so fast. Corners are our best. Our D-backs are the best now. 93, 93, 81, 79, 78. We have a great D-back core. 93 free safety, 84 strong safety. Kicker's terrible, punter's terrible. But we do have that freshman kicker who is an 80 overall, so that's really going to help us out. But yeah, this kicker has absolutely no kick power or accuracy, 74 and 62. That is just terrible. But hey, at least we got that. All right, so now we are moving on. We've got to cut 5 players. I know I'm going to cut probably one of these new wide receivers. They're 73 and 74. I do not think I'm going to cut them, but I'm going to find 5 players to cut. Do I get rid of Nolan? He's a junior. I got rid of the senior. That's fine. I'll just get rid of the senior. I'm not really worried about anything. These tight ends are too good. Let's just go through See if there's anybody I can cut. There's really not. Not on my offensive line. I mean, you can't cut an 80 overall freshman. I'm not Alabama. I'm getting there, but I'm not Alabama yet. All right. Let's go ahead and let's see at these D tackles. Let's get rid of. I think we need to get rid of this junior. Yeah, definitely going to cut one of those linebackers. And definitely. Oh, man, I can't cut the middle linebacker, but he's terrible. All right, we're going to cut that linebacker. We can't cut any of our corners, but we can cut a kicker. Will it let us cut him? Yes. It let us cut the 46 overall. Awesome. All right, can we cut this kicker? There we go. All right, we joined the SEC, and I also put Texas into the SEC. That is our new thing. All right, let's take a look at some of our scouting. 82, Andrew Jones. Ryan Gold, what is he going to end up being? I think he's going to be like an 80. 81, nice. Gordon Stewart, what is 79? I mean, these guys are good. These guys are going to be great if we can get some of them. 77, Jason Overstreet, 81. Let's see if I can get that tackle. That'll be a great addition to our team. Craig Brown, a 76, and he's fast. Kyle Talley, 73. Dennis King, 76. No real shockers, though. Nobody's really, jumping up 5 or 6. J.D. Herring went up 1. He's a 79. Matt Hayes, 78. Julian Washington at 74. I mean, really, nobody really, comes out and just increases significantly. I mean, that guy's not even fast. He's an 81 for speed, but he's 76 overall. What is his use? All right, he stays at 77, but hopefully we can get Rod. All right, Larry Jefferson at 78. Middle linebacker, 78. Cooley, 71. Let's see what he changes into, a 66. There we go, finally some movement. Reese Swain, a 78. Randy Rawling, a 76. R.J. Harmon stays at 78, and then the tackle stays at 78. Okay, now we are moving on to redshirting. I mean, we're definitely going to redshirt that freshman QB. We're going to redshirt every single one of these receivers because we can, because our sophomore receivers are our best. We're going to, I got to redshirt this tight end. I don't know. Let's redshirt the tight end. Even though he's better than most of my guys, let's redshirt this freshman center who is an 80 overall. That is insane. All right, we're going to redshirt that DN because we don't need him this year. We're going to redshirt all of these D tackles. Our D tackles are going to be great. We're going to start that left outside linebacker and start the right outside linebacker and then redshirt the 75 overall freshman. And then, of course, we're redshirting this freshman corner and the freshman safety because I can. Okay, can't redshirt the kicker or punter, so we're going to move on. I really don't need to go through all of these, but we are going to start Aaron Rodgers, and Freddie Ewing's going to stay as the backup. And then, of course, we've got Davis and then our receivers. And now let's take a look at this brutal schedule. Georgia Southern, Boston College, Georgia, TCU, Kentucky, Florida, Auburn, Texas, Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. We're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ranked opponents. This is going to be tough. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all your support.